Hello there.
General Kenobi!
Here we go.
Incoming transponder code received. Classification: fire spray. Designation: Darth Asylum. Captain: unknown. Port: unknown. Weapons profile: unknown. Designation: Darth Asylum. Incoming transponder code received. Classification: fire spray. Designation: Darth Asylum. Captain: unknown. Port: unknown. Weapons profile: unknown. Designation: Darth Asylum.
This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way. And here we go.
This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Hello there. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, you awesomely beautiful people of the galaxy, and welcome again to another episode of the Darth Asylum podcast. This is episode number 8. I am your host of Darth Asylum, broadcasting live from hyperspace, and we are back, and it is Wednesday. And you know what Wednesday means? Wednesday means the podcast. So yes, we are back. It is episode 8 of the podcast, which means we are watching episode 8 of the Skywalker saga, which means Star Wars episode 8, The Last Jedi. So we finally made it. 8 movies in. The mic's back. I wasn't saying anything. I was actually setting some stuff up, is what I was actually doing, but that's okay. But yes, we are back, and it is Wednesday. So again, I hope you guys are having a great and safe week in your parts of the galaxy, and we are officially halfway through it. So all we have to do is just make it a couple more days and make it to the weekend. So I think we can try and do that at the very least, right? But yes, and we are back with freshly painted nails. Yes, they are purple again. We got a fresh new coat on today, so we are back fully into the nails. Already, this one is chipped off almost, and I have no idea why, but so it happens. But yes, let's take a second and recognize the legends among us in the chat. So first, on the YouTube side, we have Joshua. What is going on, Joshua? Can is back as well. Welcome back. Welcome, guys. Thank you. On the Twitch side, we have Mumbling back. Welcome back, Mumbling. Mame is back, and Mame is back. Welcome back, guys. Yes, I did start a little bit later tonight as my day ran longer, but that is okay. Why? Because we have stuff to watch. And what are we watching? We are watching Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. The second to the last of 9 movies that we've actually watched on this podcast, which I think is very, very, very freaking awesome. And deserves celebration, so we can at least throw one of these out there.
It's my birthday!
So, a couple different things. What can we point out first? We did some upgrades. So the first upgrade would be is we got a new updated chair. So check it out. Yes, we have a brand new chair. Actually, see? We upgraded our chair on our fire spray. So it's a little bit more comfortable. It's a little bit more accessible, I should say. So yeah, super happy about that. So yeah, we got some more comfort. Let us see. We also added some new emotes, so let me show those real quick. We added since we got a new chair, We finally added the chair emote. So we have a chair emote now officially. Let us see. We have a... I know Spino always says this, but we added a goat emote. So we have a goat with a mythosaur, quote-unquote tattoo. So that is our goat, the goat. And then we also added a raid one. So we have an asylum raid emote as well, because I have been raiding people lately, which I've been meaning to do better at and be consistent about and do. So yes, we actually have a raid emote as well. So yep, those are the 3 new ones. We have a chair, the goat, and the raid. In a new chair. So yeah, it's been productive. It's been very, very, very productive, especially on the channel and just overall being upgrades and things and changing stuff and adding things and doing this and doing that and all that good stuff, just because everything is always an evolving process regardless of how you look at it. So, and I also added a timer. So we actually have a timer over there, if you can see it right here. Yes. So now we can finally have a movie timestamp. So when anybody asks what time are we at, that is that over there. That is this guy over here. So just let me know if you guys want me to make it bigger or smaller, if it's harder to see or not. I think that's about as big as it can go, for the most part, but either way. But yeah, so super excited. Like I said, I hope you guys are all doing well. We are back with episode 8. Please do not forget that I also have a goal for this year, and that is to hit the 1,000 Twitch follower mark. And in celebration of that goal, I will be giving away 3 games total, potentially 4, but 3 initially. A copy of Dead by Daylight, a copy of Star Wars Battlefront 2, and a copy of Battlefield 6, the Phantom Edition. Should I be able to hit within this year's time frame, and the Force wills it, yeah, 1,000 followers. And right now we're sitting at just over 830, so getting there for sure. So thank you guys again for the support. Thank you guys for being the awesome legends that you all are. It is always an honor and a privilege for me to be able to hang out with all of you. Please remember that. Please, please, please. But yes, so we are going to jump into Wikipedia because I know it is late, and we're going to read our scroll and get started. So let's see. Wikipedia is the only media that we trust that actually has source material that essentially came from people that absolutely love Star Wars, and I know that. And I believe that. I absolutely believe that. Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. Kathy Kennedy said, and I know what we're watching. Let me read the description, and then I'll go into the disclaimer. Well, I could just say the disclaimer now anyway. The sequel movies, now that we're fully into them, please share your thoughts, opinions, aggressions, whatever, joys, sorrows, whatever. This is a podcast, so please, if you feel like engaging, definitely engage. I want to hear your thoughts, your opinions while we watch it again. That is the whole point of the podcast, whether it's good or bad or whatever. If you have an opinion on it, please definitely share it. Absolutely. 50-50. Yeah. Oh yeah, we're gonna get a whole new sequel trilogy at the end of this year, probably, just because of what people are going to end up doing anyway. So just saying, I wouldn't worry about it too much with what exists and what people are gonna non-canically create that does exist. So it's okay. So anyway, Kathy Kennedy said, we're looking at someone to do the Empire Strikes Back of the series. I took that assignment very seriously, maybe more seriously than someone would have liked. I guess to me that didn't mean making something that just had nods to the Empire. That meant trying to genuinely do what Empire did. And that's a quote from Ryan Johnson. Hunter, what's up, dude?
General Kenobi.
Let's see. So Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, marketed as Star Wars The Last Jedi, is a 2017 film written and directed by Ryan Johnson and produced by Kathleen Kennedy and Ram Bergman. Along with executive producer J.J. Abrams, it is the second part of the Star Wars sequel trilogy. The film sees the return of Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, Adam Driver, Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Oscar Isaac, Lupita Nyong'o, Domhnall Gleeson, Anthony Daniels, Gwendolyn Christie, and Andy Serkis. New cast members include Benicio del Toro, Laura Dern, and Kelly Marie Tran. The Last Jedi begins immediately after the events of Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, set 30 years after the conclusion of the original Star Wars trilogy. It continues the story of Rey and her discovery of the exiled Jedi Master Luke Skywalker, along with the story of the war between General Leia Organa's resistance and the First Order. The film was released on December 14th, 2017 in Hong Kong, Mexico, Latin America, and European countries. December 15th, 2017 in North America, and January 5th, 2018 in China. Some North American theaters offered special limited advance showings on the evening of December 14th rather than the traditional midnight showing. The Last Jedi garnered 4 nominations at the 90th Academy Awards, including Best Original Score and Best Visual Effects. The following and final installment of the sequel trilogy, Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, was released on December 20th, 2019. So 2 years later, we got the next one. Grave Walker is with us, and he has reached a 30 stream streak. Congratulations, Grave. I know your streak is longer than that. It just broke whatever time it happened to be. But I am doing well, sir. Thank you for asking. Yes, I was announcing to everybody earlier, and I'll totally repeat it too, just because, and then I won't take too much longer so we can get the movie going. But we repainted our nails, so we got purple again. But no, definitely feeling better. Thank you for asking, sir. Yes, yes, yes. I hope you guys are doing great in your parts of the galaxy as well. It is Wednesday, Thursday for you guys, I know. But yes. What's happened? I'll show you guys real quick. So, first thing is we got a chair upgrade. So check it out. Yes, we did upgrade our chair. So there it is. In all its glory, our brand new fire spray chair for the stream. So there's that. We got a brand new chair. Woo! We also added a timer. So now we officially have over there, right there it is. Right here is we're going to have a timestamp timer. So when I hit play on mine, I'm going to hit play on this. So anybody that needs or wants the timestamp, that is going to be it right there. Yeah. So, thank you for that. Yes. It's a little bit more detailed, and the other one was kind of, but it was more plain and blurry and not as graphic and detailed. So yes, definitely an upgrade, and I'm happy for it because this is the chair that I have in my fire spray. Yes. And it helps with the cosplay too. Let's see. And then what else? What else were we talking about? Talked about the giveaway, which everybody already knows about. Oh, yes. And we added some new things to the channel in the case of...
And here we go.
We have a new here we go. So we added that to the redeems. We also added, so in honor of the new chair, we have a new chair emote. In honor of Spino always saying, we added goats to the stream. And then we also added because I've been doing raids a lot lately and I noticed I didn't have it. I have an official Asylum raid emote as well. I need to set up another Smexy man. Thank you, Bob the Rockstar. Well, thank you, man. Yes. So yeah, that's the official chair. That's the official chair emote, which absolutely rocks this chair. It's the same chair. So we have an emote of it now. That chair right there. Bob, I hope you're well, man. Oh crap, ads. Let's see what. So yes, that is basically going to be it. I will wait till the end of the ad break to start the stream. Let's pull the eject seat. That would probably lead to this, actually. Have that order. Nice. Yeah. Now I'm finally getting emotes that actually like work well in concert together too. So yeah, you press the eject button and then yep, death. But luckily enough, we have filtration systems, so they probably wouldn't work for long in the vacuum of space, but long enough to worry, try to do something, and then But yeah, we'll wait till the ad break is over with, and then while we're doing that, I will queue up my stuff. Like I said, I don't need to wait this second, but everything's basically ready. Everything is generally ready. Generally ready. Oh, let's see. Oh yeah, Grave, you were saying. Sorry, man. You were talking about um you finally got your setup. Nice, dude. Yeah, I've been lurking in and out of Shadow streams, so I don't really, catch a lot of comments that go through there. But I did catch a couple of yours saying something about you were able to get your stuff, and you said you built your desk. Your monitor didn't have a camera though, so I'll have to buy that. Yeah, I mean it's not too bad. I mean cameras actually aren't that bad. I mean you can even probably get away with using like if there's a camera on your like Chromebook. Like honestly, you could probably get away with using that. Um, nice. Yeah, like I said, even for a mic that's really just kind of cheap and not crazy expensive. I mean, I know Sandy went out and bought. I think what did he show me here? He's trying to get me to get like this $500 or $600 like mic that's just like it's crazy good, obviously, but I mean, for me, honestly, like this, what I linked to you the other day, I mean, like it does everything it needs to for me. The only reason why I actually got a new webcam was because the other one I had just started like having overheating issues, and I'd had that probably for at least a few years by now. So I mean, like 3 or 4 years ish, I think. So I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to upgrade. So I basically kept the same style of webcam, but then just upgraded it to like the next version or the newest. I mean, it's still not like the best version of it out, but it's kind of like there's like the one I had, this one that I have now, and then like the newest one that's like, the one that's, tons of credits, but yeah. But OBS has that's a perfect way to say it, mumbling. Thank you very much for that. Yes, absolutely. And honestly, dude, like I did the same thing with Tombstone, Beskar Ben, that, we met up, we chatted on Discord, and he was talking about like he had gotten a really good mic too, but he's just like, I'm just having problems with all this feedback and random whatever. So I'm like, you know what? And he uses OBS, so I was like, let's just meet up, we'll talk it over, and then I basically set him up with the same exact like audio settings that I use for my mic. And honestly, I mean with the with the well, now this is falling apart. So I'm pushing everything around. There we go. With everything, like just this mic alone and a little tiny, like the only thing I added was like 2 different actual pop filters to this thing, and I probably don't even need both. I just ended up getting them at some point. So I have like this little foam pop filter over it, this little like cap basically, and then the actual like pop filter that you see like people doing like voiceover work for and stuff like that. But without the mask and without the muffling that comes from the mask, just because your voice is being like obstructed, like I think the mic works perfectly fine. I really do. So, and like I said, Monster uses the same mic and he sounds perfectly clear. And I don't even think we tweaked his audio settings either. So yeah. So yeah, overall, like Mumbling said, I mean, like some tweaks can make anything sound better regardless. And even if that's what you have or whatever it is you have or anybody has for that matter, that's perfectly fine too. I mean, you could definitely do fine with a crappy mic also, so it doesn't really matter, honestly. But okay. let's get going with the movie. So, yes, again, we are back. This is episode 8. This is the Darth Asylum podcast, episode 8. And tonight we have the privilege, and I say honor and privilege, of watching another episode entry in the Skywalker saga, which is going to be Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. We read the opening, or the introduction, I should say, on Wikipedia. And yeah, so ultimately we're going to get things set up. I'll give you guys a second if you need to get your stuff ready, but I'm basically getting ready now. And yeah, we'll get ready and get going. So let's see. Earpiece together because we get to use earbuds.
Roger, roger.
Roger, roger, yes. Yeah, I didn't expect anybody to be showing up, honestly, for The Last Jedi or even Rise of Skywalker. So those of you who did show up for the podcast, thank you for your support, because I know it's definitely probably not the movies, it's the channel. So again, thank you very much. But yeah, so ultimately, on the count of execute Order 66, and here we go, we will get the movie going. If I can find execute Order 66.
The time has come. Execute Order 66.
All right. So, on the count of here we go.
And here we go.
The timer has started. I think I actually timed that perfectly to where when I hit that and the timer and my movie, it should actually be right on the second. My chat will be spared. Grave, chime in, dude. I mean, absolutely. I mean, that's the whole point of the podcast, is to be interactive if you feel like it. So if you have anything to say, man, now's the time, dude. Let loose. That's what I'm seriously saying. Like, you may not be watching the movie, but if you have anything to say, go ahead. I mean, in all honesty, seriously. I mean, like if you want to talk about it, because I'm going to be talking about it as the movie goes on anyway, just because I'm getting more and more fired up doing these podcasts, meaning like I'm being more, not just quiet, but at the same time, like, you know, I want to talk about scenes. I want to talk about characters. I want to basically keep the conversation going, so there's no like real silent points like we're playing a game either. So, oh yeah.
Kenobi.
Speaking of which, actually, I think I posted something in Discord about Maul Shadowlord is coming out in like 4 weeks-ish or so, but let us look at the opening crawl real quick, and I will read it off. So, opening crawl states, the First Order reigns, having decimated the peaceful Republic. Supreme Leader Snoke now deploys his merciless legions to seize military control of the galaxy. Only General Leia Organa's band of resistance fighters stand against the rising tyranny, certain that Jedi Master Luke Skywalker will return and restore a spark of hope to the fight. But the resistance has been exposed as the First Order speeds toward the rebel base. The brave heroes mount a desperate escape. Plot sound very familiar by chance? Because I think we just read that, actually. Was literally at the beginning when it says, what was Kathleen Kennedy's quote? She said, Kathy Kennedy said, we're looking at someone to do the Empire Strikes Back of the series. I took that assignment very seriously, maybe more seriously than someone would have liked. I guess to me that didn't mean making something that just had nods to the Empire. That meant trying to genuinely do what Empire did. And that was Rian Johnson's quote. Was that he wanted to do what basically, essentially, the Empire Strikes Back did. So this movie literally starts out right at... That's a fair assumption, Grave. I mean, literally the way this movie starts is exactly that. Rebels, they found the rebel base. They are at the rebel base. They are bombarding the rebel base. It's just missing dead Tauntauns and, you know, the heroes basically dying out in the freezing. Nothing is with us. Hello, hello, you beautiful people. Well, hello there, sir. Let me throw you a nice hello there. Where is it? And
Hello there.
I went through much technical behind the scenes stuff and did my best to refix all Java related redeems problems. So, having said that, I'm not saying we got rid of all the Jawas, but I am saying that these guys hopefully should have enough credits to leave us alone for a minute. I do like how Poe Dameron does screw around with General Hux right here, though. Where he's like, I'm looking, and he calls him General Hugs. Any guy kind of pasty. Look, I can't hold forever. Yeah, I mean, there's positives and negatives. Maybe more negatives than positives for people, but you know, that's okay. The hero character is going and finding a Jedi Master on a desolate planet who doesn't want to train the hero, but in the end agrees. Yeah. Well, I think Chewie basically like threatened him, probably threatened to tear like his arms off or something like that. You could almost say hockey trials, nice, very cool. If you enjoy this movie, then I'll. But I personally find it annoying, stupid at times. Yes, I want to hear what Grave has to say about this movie. My weapon systems are down. I mean, you could almost say that like Poe's run right here, where he's taking out the cannons, it's kind of very Death Star trench like, but at the same time, I mean, that's basically like a Star Destroyer run, taking out like the cannons and everything. So, I mean, I don't really find that too reoccurring, I guess, in that sense. That's just general strategy when it comes to actually like going after the for that I'm going to need a Microsoft Word document. Are you going to need unlimited cloud storage space for whatever you're going to write for this? Yeah, Grave, I think did you stream it all today? I didn't see, sorry. Were you testing out your new setup? You were testing stuff? Nice. I love how they sit there and tell her she tells 3PO to wipe that nervous expression off his face. That one didn't work, did it?
Thank the Maker.
That one worked. One stream you miss, I know, huh? More crisp. Nice. Oh, that's right, because yeah, I mean, because you were able to stream, not this, like today's stream, but you were able to stream last stream, or like whatever last time, like I joined with the newer setup, right? Because I think the pixels did look better, actually. You fell asleep? Well, that's okay. It happens. Oh, there's Tali. You know, it's crazy to think, though, is that after this movie, we have Rise of Skywalker, and then we're done with all 9 movies. Like, that is freaking crazy to think about. And after 9, we'll have 10, which is going to be Solo, a Star Wars story. And then after that, which is literally going to be in 2 weeks, actually, because 9 will be next Wednesday, and then Solo is going to be the Wednesday after that. So in 2 weeks, actually, we'll be actually watching Solo, a Star Wars story, and fully be done with not all 9 movies, which is crazy. But yeah, I mean, and then after that, we're going to start Andor. We'll do Andor seasons 1 and 2, finish off with Rogue One, and then I need to start thinking about what's going to happen after that. Because there's definitely going to be lots of good stuff happening. Yep. Oh yeah. That's going to be all the movies up until that point. And then now that I know for sure that there is not really going to be a Star Wars celebration this year because they're saving it for the 50th anniversary of A New Hope next year. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Andor, because not only just because I've only seen season 1, but I've only literally seen like 1 or 2, like the first 1 or 2 episodes of season 2, and I'm super stoked I'm gonna have a format that's gonna make me actually watch it, which is pretty much the reason why, like, it's almost kind of like the podcast is essentially my let's watch, not let's play. So basically, Wednesday nights is becoming the let's watch, and then Thursday nights is the let's play, and then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is just pretty much hanging out, playing games, and, you know, talking and chatting. But yeah, it's going to be super fun. I'm really, really stoked about that. Mhm. Nothing. Well, thank you for stopping in. I greatly appreciate it. Good luck tomorrow at your hockey tryouts. Embrace your inner Casey Jones, and have some fun. Have a good one, man. Get some good rest. We'll catch you tomorrow. Till next time, dude. We'll throw out a nice "May the Force be with you."
May the Force be with you.
And they make the big ship go boom.
And here we go.
Doesn't matter. It's still hockey nonetheless. You'll still do great out there, though. We believe in you, sir. I love this scene, though, right here, where he says, "I'll take this in my chambers." Okay, bye. He's like, "Oh, there you are." You know, and what's scary to think, though, is that even if Snoke, spoiler alert to anybody that hasn't seen the sequel trilogy out yet, but this has literally been out for approximately almost 10 years now. So, um, it's interesting to know that ultimately, if Snoke is a part of Palpatine's power and he's still able to do what he does, that's pretty impressive, actually. Now I can't remember. We'll have to see in Rise of Skywalker if Poe gets his ship destroyed again, because I know in the first one he got it blown up right at the beginning, and this one within the first 13 minutes, 14, 15 minutes, he's going to get his ship blown up again. His X-Wing blown up, that is. But I can't remember if he did or not, but I'm going to wait. I'm not going to look that one up just because I want to make sure if it actually happens. But yes, we are back. We are on the island. Very beautiful scenery, though. I mean, from my understanding, you can actually go and take like some boat rides around the island that they filmed this on and stuff like that. But yes, I would definitely have to agree that the direction of Luke Skywalker in this movie and sequel trilogy really definitely was a lot different than expected. That's for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, no worries, Grave. Thanks for hanging, man. I'll just be sitting here talking to myself. Master Skywalker. Yeah, I will definitely comment that for sure. That coming from the Legends universe, which was the EU expanded universe that even Lucas did not recognize, and he made that, George Lucas made that very clear, that only he truly saw the movies, the Clone Wars cartoon series, generally the only canon. So even the EU is considered multiverse, which is fine, which is absolutely fine. But again, I feel like, again, the expanded universe gave us a different time frame period where we got to see a whole bunch of craziness happen, and then now we're kind of witnessing a newer multiverse kind of thing happen. And yeah, it's definitely different. It is definitely different. The porgs are pretty cute though, I have to admit. But I am a Star Wars fan, so I am dedicated to watching these movies in their entirety. It'll be a ghost town when I watch The Acolyte, do a podcast on The Acolyte too, but that's okay. Okay. And then Chewie gets sad because he's like, wait a minute. No.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Thank you, Supreme Leader. The Kerr's weakness can be manipulated. It's nothing. Oh, Red. Raw, untamed power. New Vader. Gave everything I had. Even Snoke didn't like his mask either, which is crazy to think about. There it is. Too much of your father's. Killed him. That's probably one of my most favorite scenes in this.
You failed!
Bested by a girl who could barely wield a lightsaber. You failed. I mean, he just straight came down on him, and Kylo stood up to like challenge him, and he's just like, he like batted him away. Again, coming back to the point of being that is just a snippet, like just a barely like chunk of Palpatine's power let free. Barely a chunk of his power. No. Hermit Luke. You don't need Luke's. Yeah, that's pretty much what everybody thought. He went to the most unfindable place in the galaxy just to miss everybody. Even with Chewie tearing his door apart, he still doesn't want to even deal with the galaxy, the rest of the galaxy, for his failure. There's definitely a lot of uphill walking in this movie, for sure. At least he still drinks his milk, though. Awkward eye contact. Engaged. Well, before Luke went all hermit, I mean, at least we got to see some action Luke after Return of the Jedi and The Mandalorian, though. So he fixed his door at least. Their all their legs have to be burning on fire at this point because they literally have been walking uphill like this entire like every scene they're walking up a hill. He hears the dark side caves. Well, he didn't know any better on Dagobah, so what does it matter with Her going into the spooky cave on this planet. I think the evil version of herself. We know that symbol. I'm Ray from nowhere. No one's from nowhere. Why are you here, Ray from nowhere? Why are you? I'm afraid. You need a teacher, but I can't teach. That is pretty funny, though. I've seen your daily routine. You're not busy. Time for the Jedi. She slaps him. Your head out of your cockpit. Need you to learn that. That's impossible. Not really for them. That's impossible. Permission to jump in an X-Wing and blow something up.
Yeah! Rebels! 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 Yeah! Rebels!
Oh, Talia. With that one hit, Kylo takes out the entire friggin' hangar bay. Oh man, that's brutal. And she can kill Kylo. Let's see. Who died? Who died in the hangar? So Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. The hangar explosion on the MC-85 Star Cruiser Radis, caused by Kylo Ren's torpedoes, results in the deaths of several Resistance pilots and crew members. Lintra, a specific pilot named Lintra, is confirmed to have died in this hangar explosion, as other casualties. Numerous unnamed Resistance pilots, crew members, and mechanics are killed when their parked X-Wings and fighters are destroyed. And Talia also. There's a Tali Lintra. Lintra, that's what they said. Yeah, that's Tali Lintra. Wasn't Tali, yeah, it's Tali Lintra. Mm. But if anything else, we still get to see Leia use some force powers, so because Luke did train her to use some stuff, so at least he was able to help. Even if he wasn't there. Oh, poor Carrie. I love how Finn just sits there and decides, you know what, screw it, I'm out. I'm gonna run and go find Rey. Chewie's gonna eat some porg. Well, you already cooked them. I already miss Admiral Akbar. I know. It does say though. Um, I shouldn't be laughing, but it says that yes, Chewie was preparing to eat a porg in Star Wars: The Last Jedi. He hunted, plucked, and roasted at least two of them on Octo, but stopped when the remaining sad-looking porgs watched him, causing him to feel guilty, though he did consume them. So he still ate them. It's just he didn't eat them right there at that point where he felt sad. Boom is back with us. What is going on, sir?
Hello there.
Now he begs you to help him in the struggle. That's a cheap move. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope. Tomorrow, at dawn, 3 lessons. I mean, for what it is worth, there is actually quite a few funny moments in this movie where, like, I love the scene where he tells her to reach out with the Force, and she does the like reach, you know, and then he like shakes his hand, and then like he takes the thing and starts tickling her, and he's like, oh, I feel something. He's like, you feel it? Really? You feel it? You feel it? And she's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the Force. And she's like, oh my God, I can feel it. I can totally feel it. And he smacks her. It's like, oh, you meant reach out, like, reach out. Still can't watch for these. I keep reading what day it is. So essentially the way it is, Boom, is so my Wednesday nights, Pacific time, which technically at this point I did start later anyway, but either way, it's your Thursday evening. Because since you're in Australia, and I know you and Hunter share basically the same time frame. Yeah, because New Zealand is like a few hours ahead of you guys anyway. So for Grave it's a lot later, but like usually when it's like Grave's midnight, it's like my 3 a.m. time the previous day or early that morning. And then I know it's confusing, but um but yeah, always think of it this way. Like when I start my streams, it's always so like for you, my stream days are Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So Monday night for you is going to be Dead by Daylight for me. Your Sunday night is going to be Star Wars Battlefront 2. Your Saturday night will be typically Battlefield 6. Your Saturday will be Battlefield. Your Friday will be Dark Souls. And your Thursday will be the stream. Nice. Very cool. I'm still clinging onto the one I have with the younglings. Because apparently they love phones and technology now, and yeah. That's awesome, man. I don't know if it's an Apple or a Droid, but I am a Droid person. Yeah, I've never liked Apple's like what's the word? Proprietary software that they lock down, but I've always liked Android's like kind of open, like files policy and stuff like that. And it's kind of like talking about like Mac and Windows. I think no, actually, I'm still rocking the this is actually my new phone. Actually, newest phone. I think it's the 25 is what I got. Yeah, I got the 25. Yeah. Sweet. Well, let me know how that works for you, man. I'm sure the second one of the younglings destroys mine, I'll be getting the 26 at some point. Breathe. May the force be with you. That's exactly why you got the new one. Yeah. It happens. It happens. Yeah, it's funny. We were actually talking about that earlier, Ben, about audio settings, and Grave said he was going to get the same mic that like me and Monster have, and we were talking about just like mics in general and how like we kind of walk through, and Mumbling was in the chat earlier and said that even you can even tweak any mic to sound better in some way, shape, or form through OBS and other programs and things like that specifically. And I completely believe it because I told them about the story of how me and you got together and we're going over like mic settings and stuff like that. So I don't know if you got a chance to either re-record or try new stuff out or anything on your mic, but let me know how it worked out as far as like the audio qualities and all that good stuff. Yeah. Technology and water do not mix. Nope. Nope. Again, it's the same concept of throwing these guys in there with it. Yeah, those guys. Oh, we forgot to do this for Admiral Akbar. Rip Admiral Akbar. The guy that used to mop it. Like Finn was essentially a janitor in the First Order. You're doing a playthrough for streaming? Sweet. What game are you going to be playing? That's very awesome. Force Unleashed. Nice. Very, very cool. Yeah, I did those ones back to back because they're not too long of games, actually. And I think I was even able to do it over the course of like 2 days. Like I think I did it like on a Friday and a Saturday because they're not crazy long games, but they are freaking so fun to play. Yeah, it is freaking awesome. Get their shields. Could I do it? Of course I could do it. Maz. Oh, yes. C-3PO, so innocent. He's like, oh my, this code breaker sounds like he can do everything we can, everything he can. She's like, oh yeah. Yes, he can. They're like, ugh. Find the master code breaker. But I am excited to introduce also that there is a timestamp timer now. So over there at the other end of the stream, there's officially a timestamp timer for anybody interested in what timestamp we are watching the current movie or TV show. Yeah, we were thinking. I was like, how can we sit there and do a timestamp and not have to worry about anybody not knowing where we're at? And I was like, well, wait a minute, I'll just put a clock on there, a timer. So, yep. And I was actually proud of myself that I was able to generally start it to where, like, right when I said, okay, I'm starting it, I was able to start the movie and start the timer, like, right generally at the same spot. So it's within, like, maybe a second, maybe two off, but it's basically right where we're at. So. You're gonna watch now. Like my actual like time right now is 2:29 a.m. I did start late tonight, so I mean I've been streaming for about an hour and 24, well, exactly an hour and 25 minutes at this point. So that puts us at 1:04-ish. So 1:04 a.m. is when I started tonight. So ultimately, I did start a lot later than I normally would on pod night, but that's okay. I mean, again, these movies are only a couple of hours, so they're nothing crazy, crazy. You know, we'll end just after 3 o'clock, so it won't be too bad. But yeah, I'm right at 2:30 a.m. Pacific West Coast time. So without having to screw up the movie or anything like that, the way I'm watching it, um, I can officially say that is right where we're at. It's 46 minutes in. So about an hour, I'll take a cosplay break so I can rehydrate and grab a snack while watching the movie and talking with everybody too. So, oh Ben, yes, check it out. So I also have these. We added this redeem.
And here we go.
And we added some new emotes. So we have an official chair emote because I did upgrade the chair. So I did get a new chair, by the way. A newer detailed chair, that is. So we're rocking a new fire spray chair. So we have an official emote for that. Added a goat emote with the Mandalorian symbol. Now we have a goat emote. And then since I've been raiding people, I realized I didn't have a raid button or a raid emote either. So now we have an asylum raid emote also. Make things float. Because you're the goat. No, you guys are the goat. No take backsies, infinity. I should have put that in the actual goat thingy. I should have put no take backsies, infinity. I might have to update the goat. Here's the funny part I like. The balance binds the universe. Okay. We'll do it together. Close your eyes. Breathe. Reach out. I feel something. That's the force. It must be. Ow. You meant reach out, like. Should have a goat with your helmet on. I actually have an alternate one, which I was screwing around with because we've been talking about AI. So I was curious to run an AI image, and I legit ran a goat, a goat wearing Mandalorian armor, and I literally have a picture of a goat wearing full Mandalorian armor. Like legit, like a goat like that. I think it's the same goat actually, wearing Boba Fett's armor. Like I legit have one of those. That was AI generated, and I was just like, hmm. Or a goat with my helmet on. Yeah, that was another thing I was gonna do, but it's up for interpretation or change, that's for sure. That's kind of more of a placeholder goat, I guess. I could always just have the goat with like legend behind it or something. For you guys, not me, for you guys. Um, One of the more popular ones that I know people use, but it's limited, is like Google Gemini for AI for image creation and stuff like that. That's the one I particularly used for the one that came out the way I did. But I think you have to basically take two image, like the easiest way to do it, honestly, and this is me explaining how to use AI, is it's basically a mashup of two pictures. So if you take like a picture of Boba Fett and his armor, and you take like say a goat, I think that's what I literally did, and said make this goat wear this armor. Like it literally took both pictures and just like melded them together, and then that's what it came out with. So it wasn't specific as like put Mandalorian armor on this goat kind of thing, but it was more like, you know, take this picture and put it on this object kind of thing. So it's kind of more like a blend of a of use of AI versus like it creating something out of nowhere because it had source material to work with. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, if honestly, if you are going to use it, and that's perfectly fine too, um, just be not specific, but give it source material to work with because then it doesn't have to think on its own exactly what it's going to use, but just be careful because that source material can be reappropriated, if you know what I mean. So it's like, again, the whole AI thing is a weird new concept. So the only thing I've been using AI, and we were talking about this not too long ago, like the last stream on like Sunday or Saturday, I can't remember, but we were all talking about it, and the way we actually repainted them today. This is new. We got new coloring today. Yeah, we got a whole new coat. Um, but thank you for noticing. Um, yeah, the way I've been using personally AI is more of a filter because I use things like Photoshop and After Effects quite a bit. So the way I've been using AI is not to like create like new images, but basically using it as like a filter, like you would like through Photoshop or After Effects to basically help create an effect, than actually create something out of nothing. So that's generally how I've kind of like used it a little bit here and there. I know everything I need to know about you. You are a monster. Yeah, look up. I mean, Google Chrome is pretty standard at this point, but yeah, look up Google Gemini is what it is, um, and it'll say like create image. You only get like a certain number to use unless you like sign up for some kind of um subscription, I think, to be able to like actively use it. But for what it's worth, I mean, you could knock out a few images before it tells you like, okay, because it only lets you use like X amount for like a 24-hour period or whatever, because it just doesn't want you to be cranking out tons and tons of stuff, I guess, unless you sign up for some kind of service for it through it. But um like I said, I've only used it a couple of times to use it as like a refilter kind of device. But aside from that, though, I mean, yeah, that's. But I'm not sure, honestly, because I've seen a lot of AI stuff and a lot of good AI stuff and a lot of stuff that they probably shouldn't be doing with AI. And but I don't know what programs they're using for all of that. Because I mean, people are creating like full blown like TV shows and movies and just like scenes and just like stuff out of thin air. And again, I was saying this at the beginning of the stream is that we're gonna get a full blown sequel trilogy through AI just because people are going to create it. That's going to override whatever these films came out that people have a problem with. Yeah, I am kind of bummed that they didn't really use Rose too much, and the poor actress was got so much grief again for her role and just. But I think Rose was a really cool character in this, though. She had that feisty rebel kind of, want to get back at the First Order because obviously her sister got killed during the bombing run and stuff like that. I love how that drunk little alien's over there trying to put quarters or coins into BB-8. And Canto Bite. Called us to test their weapon. There's part of the new Jedi Order right there, that little kid. It was good, but the mouth thing was a bit off. I love that line. I wish I could put my fist through this whole lousy, beautiful town. The Master Code Breaker. Not now. I'm on a roll. With the way they were pushing Ray, you almost would have thought she would have went light side double bladed. Yeah, Luke starts watching her. Like, all right, she's concentrating. And there's the oops. And then he's walking away like, eh. I love how she says, they don't like me very much, do they? You believed he wasn't going. My nephew. Han was Han about it. Alrighty, I am going to take a quick cosplay break, but I will still be live on the air, so I'll be right back in 1 second. But the chair will still be here, though. It's too late. Any turn. He slaughtered the rest. I failed because I was Luke Skywalker, Jedi Master. She does have a point, though. You didn't fail Kylo. Kylo failed you. Which does actually beg the question. For Ben Solo. So it says, The Hunt for Ben Solo was a proposed independently developed Star Wars film by Adam Driver and director Steven Soderbergh that was ultimately rejected by Disney execs in 2025. Developed over 2 years, the script written by Scott Z. Burns would have followed Ben Solo after The Rise of Skywalker, but was shut down because Disney didn't see how the character could still be alive. Rejection by Disney. Despite initial interest and approval from Lucasfilm, including Kathleen Kennedy and Dave Filoni, Disney executives Bob Iger and Alan Bergman rejected the project. Reason for the cancellation. The primary reason given for the rejection was that Disney did not believe the character could or should be alive following his death in The Rise of Skywalker. Reaction. Soderbergh expressed significant frustration, calling the decision insane and noting it was canceled without a discussion regarding the budget. The project had the working title Quiet Leaves, was seen by some as a potential way to continue the character's arc, but it ultimately did not move forward. He can break him into Old Man Snoke's boudoir. It'd be extremely interesting to see what that looked like. Did he just? Yeah. BB-8 just sits there and throws money at him. They literally live in there with him. You know, I also don't have a resistance badge either, do I? I like that. Stop enjoying this. Jeez. You're just having a good old time destroying stuff. But again, I thought Rose Tico was a really cool character. Let's look up some of her backstory so we can bring some context to her. Rose Tico. That's how we're going to win. Not fighting what we hate, saving what we love. Oh. Well, she should have been a love interest for Finn. Rose Tico was a female human who served in the Resistance as a maintenance worker during their conflict with the First Order, whom Tico had hated since she was a child. Tico's older sister, Paige, was a gunner in the Resistance following the Battle of Dakar, in which her sister was killed, and during the First Order's Battle of Oetchi, Tico, former stormtrooper Finn, and astromech unit BB-8 arrived on the city of Canto Bight to recruit the Master Code Breaker, hoping he could disable the First Order's hyperspace tracker on board the Mega-class Star Dreadnought Supremacy. It is, actually. That's where they got the part of the, well, next to Sabak anyway, but yeah, the races that they that you can bet on. Yeah. This is the same place that you start out on. Yeah, this is your home world. You're like in the slums of this place. Let me double check, but I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah. Probably helps if I spelled things right. Yeah, Canto Bite. Yeah, starts on Canto Bite before moving to the main starting open world planet Toshara. A new moon created for the game. Yeah, you're right, man. It is indeed. Luke cut himself off from the Force. Mm. Luke. Yeah, me too. Do you have something I can pout on? Why what? Say it. Why did you kill it? I still have my curiosity with who her parents truly are. Yeah, I still think her parents were both clones. He's like, screw it, I'm going to the dark side. I love how part of Luke's training is that he's like, you went straight to the dark. You didn't even like resist. Like, it was so shocking. And then we get to see Dark Ray. Well, not until the next one, I guess, but still. Because who was Omega's sister? Marie Carr. What happened to Emery Carr? Joins the Clone Underground. I don't know. I still think that's her. When she sees that image of her parents. Because it says Emery Carr went to basically go work with the clones in the underground, but her mother is Mira Mir. But they have not made any kind of connections. Says she is not. While Emery exists within the same broader era as early Project Necromancer, which produced Dathan, she is not connected to Rey's parentage. But I say not yet. Did I get overheated under there? Actually, I don't. I just took a break so I can eat and drink something actually real quick. I figured 15-minute break. But honestly, though, I mean, I don't even have any fans under my helmet, but it's actually really comfortable, and it doesn't restrict like my face or anything, or my jawline or my cheeks. So like even talking and stuff feels very open. It really does. Give the chair at least. I'm coming back in a second. I just wanted to take a quick drink break while the movie was still going. Stop. Love how she was trying to attack Luke. Chair stream. Again, that's why I created the emote. Because we were talking about before anyway, that the chair needs an emote now, so figured, you know what? With the new chair comes a new emote. One of these days I'll do a chair stream just for fun. Tell me the truth. Saw darkness. Hello, darkness, my old friend. It was beyond. All right, I guess we can re-helmet up. He who would bring destruction and pain. He heard the words, strike me down, and you'll become as powerful as I will ever be. Yeah, that's pretty rough. He said the last thing I saw was the eyes of a frightened boy whose master had failed him. Yeah. I saw his future. Don't do this. He does hand her the lightsaber. It says here. No, there is another. Well, she did make a lasting impact on him, though. Yoda. Young Skywalker. You know, the funny thing is, though, is that Yoda already knew. She already knew she took the text. Yoda. Yoda always liked messing with Luke. He really did. He always loved just screwing around with Luke. Hmm? Read them, have you? Well, which is funny. He totally calls him out on that too. Greatest teacher failure is. I read something too about this that I want to share. Where is it? This right here.
Do or do not. There is no try.
Yeah, like I had read something really interesting about the actual real meaning of do or do not, there is no try, but it's not what everybody thinks. Let's see. So this says, do or do not, there is no try. It's a famous Star Wars quote by Master Yoda, meaning one should commit fully to a task without allowing for doubt or hesitation. It teaches that trying implies a lack of confidence, leaving room for failure, while doing requires total commitment. So, commitment over doubt. The phrase emphasizes that focusing only on the outcome removes the excuse of just trying. Mindset is crucial. Yoda advises Luke to believe in his abilities as doubt prevents success. Failure is part of action. It is not about never failing, but rather committing to the action completely. You either accomplish it or you do not, but you are not just trying. I think that was the point that I always really liked, that I had recently read, was that it's basically, I'll read that again. Failure is part of action. So it is not about never failing, but rather committing to the action completely. You either accomplish it or you don't, but you're not just trying. You either do it or you don't. You're not just trying. So here's some usage examples and context. So daily life. Instead of saying, I'll try to get this report done, say, I will get this report done. It transforms a half hearted attempt into a firm commitment, overcoming procrastination. When facing a challenging task, this phrase is used to eliminate hesitation and force immediate action. And then the no try in action, similar to the scene in The Dark Knight Rises where Bruce Wayne jumps without a rope, it means removing the safety net to force success. Yeah. But yeah, that was the one part that I really liked the explanation from. Failure as a part of the action. So it's not about never failing, but rather committing to the action completely. So either you accomplish it or you don't, but you don't just try. Those transport ships are unarmed. You are not just a coward, you are a traitor. Just buy us a little more time. I love how you just see the books right there. Again, Yoda knew. Yoda knew. It's like for a brief second you think she's going to jump in a escape pod from hyperspace. Just for a brief second. But then Chewie pops out, she jumps, and then they jump. There's Kylo waiting. I love how they jumped. They jumped right underneath the entire fleet, and they just take a chunk out of the out of the shields just to be like just enough to get through. Well, at least he didn't kill him. If they moved, stun him. Red Baromir. Welcome in, sir. I have not actually contemplated that message, sir. But I'm sure that would be an answer through trial and error. Would be my first guess. It's BB-9E. We just saw BB-9E. You will not bow before Snoke. Oh, he's going to see Snoke. Well done. And BB-8 just running around as a trash can. Well, at least he was able to give her her memento back. Three PO's a part of a mutiny. Actually, interesting fact too is that girl that helps them there with the little mini hair buns is Carrie Fisher's niece, I believe. Her daughter. Oh, that's her daughter. Holy crap. Played Lieutenant Connix in Star Wars sequel trilogy and served as the body double for young Princess Leia in The Rise of Skywalker. Lord stood in for the flashback scene with her mother's likeness digitally added. That's actually really cool. So she played Lieutenant Connix in The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker. Young Leia body double in The Rise of Skywalker. She played the physical role of young Leia in a flashback scene with Luke Skywalker, which she described as a poignant tribute to her mother. Connection: she's the daughter of Carrie Fisher and Brian Lord and the granddaughter of Debbie Reynolds. Experience: Lord was encouraged by her mother to act after her initial small role in The Force Awakens. So that was her daughter, actually. Holy crap. That's awesome. But I remember Carrie Fisher specifically saying, though, during like an interview, was that the big hair buns was her signature style. So she said, so she was allowed to have like these little tiny, like kind of puffball hair buns for her style. Too many losses. Sure you can. I love how she says it that way too. May the force be with you always. Oh, Laura Dern making the ultimate sacrifice. Come closer, child. Why are we talking like Bane all of a sudden in The Dark Knight Rises? I just said Rises right when Snoke said it too. Well, I guess now with the mask and the muffling, we could actually do a Bane voice. We are now watching Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Snoke is but a mere puppet. Have you seen something? It was I who bridged your minds. You were not wise enough. No. Yes. I still love all the fan theories that came from these sequels though about Snoke. Or at least from the first one to this one, because Snoke doesn't, well, he does appear in the next one, but in a different sense. Hydrate. I actually just did, Barbie, believe it or not. I took a 15-minute cosplay break to actually hydrate and take a snack break, but oh, Mandalore and purple nails. Hydrate for Mandalore, right? Barbie, welcome back in. I'm hoping that you're either waking up but not going to sleep. And I did start fairly late tonight, so it should actually be. You tried to sleep earlier, but yeah. You had nowhere else to go, so you came here. I get it. Well, I would tell you to go to sleep, but the fact that you can't, you're welcome to hang out with us. The hydrate gremlin returns. Probably. That's probably why I don't have a specific hydrate, but it's more of a snack one, though. Because drinks do count as snack breaks. He was spamming hydrate. Yeah, see, like any other kind of currency, I just hoard mine until like I just really feel like just, you know. He had to add a 5 minute cooldown. Yep. Now that's a very good example right there, and I will tell you why. Because why do you think my channel point redeems are 100 now versus when I first started, they used to be 5 points. 5 points. Now, imagine what people would do, like joining the stream and say getting like an automatic 250 type points or something. Like when you first follow, that kind of thing, like you get a bonus and like forever, for however long you watch, you get like the bonus. I think it's like every hour you watch, you get like 100 points or something like that.
Roger, roger.
Um, yeah. Um, but he said if you removed it, he was responsibly. That is exactly why I settled at 100 for the points, because after 1 hour of watching the stream, you can theoretically redeem like one redeem without spamming it. Because I had some people in chat, not currently, however, but there were some people that helped me learn as a streamer why there should be some sort of general restrictions on things. What's that? My worthy apprentice, son of dark, heir apparent of Lord Vader. Where there is conflict, I know that there is resolve. Drink. Complete your training of destiny. I know what I have to do. I cannot be. Kills his true enemy. I love how the guards are like, hold up. What? And then they're like, all right, screw it. It's on. You gotta die now. Loyal to the end. Literally. Hey, Grave, hydrate. 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 You had to put it on a cooldown after that. See, but thanks to you, Barbie, Grave would have never learned the lesson of redeem. What's the word? Redeem spamming, redeem spamming, and realizing, there is a potential, even if it's in good fun, there is a potential that that can happen. So there is a lesson to be learned, at least. That means I got to do it too. Yeah, it goes both ways. You were the one that initiated the hydrate too, so I think that's fair. That's how I would feel like if I did the snack time. It would be like it's not just snack time for me. It's like grab a snack for yourselves or a drink or something that will make you happy. To my knowledge, I have heard no. You cannot drink it or you should not drink it. Not that you can't drink it. You can absolutely drink it because it's liquid. But it's whether or not it's good for you is a whole different topic. Well, then we wish you well on your quest to get your water. The scary shadow demons. I'd be more worried about the clowns and the gremlins and the everything else. But yeah, shadow demons are there too. That doesn't help. Well, Barbie, see the trick is that if you become friends with the night creatures, then there's nothing really to worry about. Well, I guess there is an opposite side to that. If you become friends with the night creatures, then does that mean you're enemies with the day creatures? Because I am a daywalker, so just tell it to hydrate. Exactly. See, hand it the water. Be like, here you go. Join me. If you're watching us on your phone, we'll go with you. How about that? We'll be right there with you. Teledemons, Teledemons Asylum says hello. There were filthy junk traders. Dead in a pauper's grave. Wait, where was her parents killed? We will. According to the canon novel Shadow of the Sith, Rey's parents, Dathan and Miramir, are buried on the frozen glacial planet Neftali. They were killed by Ochi of Bestoon, and their bodies were later recovered by Lando Calrissian and Luke Skywalker, who laid them to rest there. They discovered the parents. Interesting. That's the coolest thing to do. Just light up your saber and stand there like Vader. Yeah. Yeah, that works too. Because no matter what color that saber is, I mean, it'll definitely give pause. Something will definitely pause, whatever's looking at you. Execution by blaster. Execution by blaster. That's like the only reason I want a lightsaber. The only reason? Come on, man. There's like a gazillion reasons to have a lightsaber. He is just gonna destroy his flagship, isn't she? He just jumped right into hyperspace with. Knowing that's the only way to take out his cruiser. And Leia's like, another person gone. I love how Rose is dragging him dragging Finn by the legs. Like, come on. Well, one of the reasons, exactly. There's always a reason, but especially for a lightsaber, there are more than definitely one. I would think. I like that. Let's go, Chrome Dome. He cracks her like right on the dome. You were always scum. Rebel scum. That's another good question. Did Captain Phasma die? Captain Phasma. We'll wait till the ad break ends in 10 seconds, so. Hux comes walking up. I love this part. He like is ready to pull his gun out. And he's like, nope, nope. What happened? So I looked up, did Captain Phasma die? And it says Captain Phasma is generally considered to have died in Star Wars The Last Jedi after falling into a burning abyss on the Supremacy following her fight with Finn. While not explicitly shown dying on screen, official in-universe canon and related material such as Wikipedia's data list her death as occurring in 34 ABY. So, I mean, there is potential there. You never know. She is very cool. Yes, absolutely. Gwendolyn Christie. Yep. Oh, the crystal critters. We see the crystal critters. Everyone's favorite map. Great. On Battlefront. I don't know why everybody hates on Crate. I mean, it's actually a really beautiful planet. It was always one of my favorite whenever I played. I mean, whether you're playing attacking or defending, especially on Crate, it's like I always, even at the height before I stopped playing it for a while, it's like I always just loved that fact of like getting to those doors, those double doors, and like, you know, trying to hold out long enough before they like closed and you could like, you know, escape essentially, just like in the movie. And it's like, oh man, Game of Thrones would be awesome to do on the podcast. Yeah. Definitely 18 plus, I will say that. Game of Thrones is pretty brutal, I will definitely say. The crystal critters in Star Wars The Last Jedi are called Volptices, singular Volptex, often referred to as crystal foxes. We'll call them crystal foxes because Volptices, I don't think anybody's ever going to remember. Crystal critters or crystal foxes, that's what they are. You have to buy time. Salt. See, again, this is very Empire Strikes Back. Which, I mean, makes even more sense with the gigantic AT-STs out there. On the horizon. Giant robot camels. Did you make any new friends along the way? While getting your water or beverage of choice? Graves' advice went horribly wrong. Hmm. Your saber died on the way in the darkness. So you were left with your instincts then. Did you trust in the Force? I think it might be time, Barbie, for you to invest in some Beskar, or at least a helmet anyway. Maybe. Gave me a harsh. I think we need to get Barbie a helmet. We need to get Barbie a Beskar helmet. And a blaster. Why do you think I carry 2 blasters and a lightsaber? Chewie's scraping the Falcon again. I love how there's a little porg in there after Chewie ate him. Who got a new Star Wars poster today? That is a big gun. And what would the poster be of, by chance? He gives him this look. Concentrate all fire on the speeders. Very cool. Love compilation posters. If you can, Barbie, post it in the Discord. It doesn't have to be like the actual picture of it, but I mean, if you have like like an internet copy of the picture or the poster. He's popping in and out. He's probably falling asleep at this point. It's getting late for him. You lost your Discord account. Well, I won't go into how that happened, but I'll just blame the Jawas. Finn's like, screw it, I'm gonna go kill myself. Like I said, I'm not even going to attempt to try to understand the reasoning behind that. I'm just saying, should you be able to, please post it in there so that way we can check it out and see it. You can never remember the passwords. Just get a password reset. That's easy enough. As long as you didn't lose your email attached to it, then you should be fine. Yeah, just log into it, and when it says forgot email or password, then just say forgot password and create something like 12345. Rose sacrificed herself for that. They ruined such a good romance right there. Rose and Finn, when she says, I saved you, dummy. And then we're going to win by saving what we love. Kisses them and then faints. Or you might just have to make a new. Okay. Galaxy has lost all its hope. Just like I read earlier. What is it?
Do or do not. There is no try.
Which basically translates to fully commit either way.
Hello there.
By either fully committing regardless, you're either going to do it and fail or do it and win.
General Kenobi.
I held out hope for so long.
And here we go.
See? Graves fully committing to the gens and DBD. See? He's not trying to do the gens. He's fully committing to either failing or completing them. Master Luke. What do you expect? Me to walk out in front of the First Order with a laser sword? I love how he literally says, I want every gun we have. Fire on that man. Good. Well, that just means in like 15 minutes you're going to have to pee because don't drink it all at once. I love Hux's look at him. It's just like, what? More? Even the guy firing is looking at him like... Hmm. I love that. You think you got him? Sir? Again, a lot of people may not love this movie, but it does have its moments. And Luke walking out of that complete just unload of artillery on him and doing this. It's just pure magic. You just I love how Hux is like, Supreme Leader, don't get distracted. And he's just like, and then the pilot's like, I'll bring you down right now. Hold on one second. Please give me 1 second to land the ship. It is. I did start late tonight, Barbie. So for me, it is 3:55 a.m. But the movie is actually almost over. We have about 22 minutes left. But that includes, I think, credits and stuff like that. So probably more like 10, 15 minutes, I think. That's right. You're on Mountain Time or Central Time. Central Time. No, I didn't come to save you. Well, I'll definitely be tired. I know that because I just yawned. He's stalling. Hell, how did he get in here? Oh. Yawns are contagious. Did you yawn? Because I did. He tells 3PO to shut up. Where did the crystal critters go? I believe you. I believe you. Then make sure you have candles and your phone is charged. That would be the first instinct I would have because I've definitely had those situations happen. Or at least have a flashlight and charge all your electronics because if your power does go out, you're screwed if you don't have something to do. Or you can always work on your cosplay or something. I mean, there's alternatives for sure. Well, the crystal critters were able to escape. I mean, that's a plus. I do love his Kylo's responses though a lot, because even here where he says like, "I failed you, Ben," and then Kylo's like, "I'm sure you are," like like a spoiled kind of kid who's just like, "Meh." More is just beginning. He's gonna be hovering over him the entire time, going "Woo" as a Force ghost, just pestering him all the time. Well, good night, Barbie. Thank you for hanging. Greatly appreciated. Have a good night. Get some sleep. We'll catch you later. See you around, kid. I guess this is the part where we get to insert.
It's a trap!
Because he knew. Wait a minute. You're not real. And what did I just waste all this time on? Does still beg the question, why did Luke die after force projecting himself? Which the internet's going to. Luke Skywalker died in The Last Jedi because the immense galaxy spanning effort of projecting his likeness from Octo to Crate severely overtaxed his physical body. The technique drained his life force, allowing him to become one with the Force in a state of peace, having accomplished his final mission. Which which is interesting is because even this Reddit post right here that immediately follows it says there's two different theories here. It says he was planning on committing suicide anyway. That was the ritual Ray interrupted. He knew his second step was to become one with the Force. And then this other one says he died because he was around 70 years old and just astrally projecting himself across the galaxy to mess with Kylo Ren probably helped really do it in for him too. So that's a good point. Mm. And even projecting the smuggler's dice. I mean, that was something too. They finally got their hug, dang it. Chewie and Leia. That's where they showed the books, okay. He was closing the drawer before, but you didn't actually get to see what was in it. But then when Finn opens it up right now, you see all the Jedi text there. How do we build a rebellion from this? Luke. Good day. That little kid is so awesome. He uses the Force to grab the broomstick. He will not be the last Jedi. And where is he?
And here we go.
And we're done. Yay. Another one down. Another one down. Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. Finished. Done and done. 8 episodes of the podcast. Congratulations, guys, for sticking it through this far. But yes, we are officially done watching 8 movies from start to finish, 1 through 8 so far. That starts with Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, The Force Awakens, and now officially Star Wars The Last Jedi, Episode 8. So that only leaves one more to go for the Skywalker saga, and that is Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. One more to go. Yes, good job, guys. Good job.
It's my birthday!
But again, yes, we did start the pod late tonight. However, we were able to get it done. We were able to hang out. We were able to watch a movie and get another one out of the way. So that is freaking awesome. That is so freaking cool. I got to tell you. But yes, that was the end of Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. Luke Skywalker is no more. He's one with the Force. Everybody has met up with the remnants of the Resistance, that is. Yes, one more to go, which means we have The Rise of Skywalker next Wednesday. The following Wednesday after that, we have Solo, A Star Wars Story. And then the following Wednesday, which actually means within a month's time, believe it or not, we're actually going to be starting Andor. So Andor is, let me double check. The Andor. see how many episodes, because I know Andor usually floats around. Andor. So we have 2 seasons. Each episode is around, say, 30 to 40 minutes. There is a total of 12 episodes, which actually isn't bad. So that would basically be so watching 3 episodes of Andor would essentially be around a 2-hour mark. We're watching 2 episodes each. Season 2, however, is close to almost an hour each episode, actually. And that's 12 episodes also. Nice. And I heard weird rumors about an Andor prequel movie potentially. Set up Rogue One too, because I don't think I have it. Feud. But sweet. We did it. Congrats, guys. So yes, that is it for Star Wars The Last Jedi, Episode 8, and Episode 8 of the podcast. Yes, that is, again, an interesting movie, to say the least. What's kind of ironic, I would say, too, is that their emphasis on taking the second movie of the sequel trilogy and really trying to mimic that feeling of Empire is even more interesting, because they actually, if you think about it, at the end of Empire, it still ended on like kind of a sad note, right? But it's like Luke lost his hand in that one, in the original trilogy, and he lost his life in this one. So definitely more intense for Luke, for sure. But yeah, we just got one more movie to go, and that is freaking crazy to actually think about, that we've knocked out so much so far, and it doesn't even feel that long. And think about it, episode 8 means that we've been doing the pod for at least 2 months. You know what, I'm not even going to say it because I don't want to jinx it. Knock on Beskar. That means that we've done at least, at the minimum, 8 pods, and yeah, we're able to watch 8 movies. So now we just need to finish off The Rise of Skywalker, and we can finish off episode 9 with that and keep going on. But yeah, like we were talking about earlier, Hunter, you had mentioned Gwendolyn Christie and like Game of Thrones, and even Din Djarin was in Game of Thrones because he was Tyrell, Prince. What was he? What was his name? I completely forget. Yeah, user, you were absolutely right. Yeah, her user just said, during the Force Awakens, Rey is far light and Kylo Ren is far dark, but in the last Jedi, Rey and Kylo kind of meet in the middle. You're absolutely right. Because again, she's still learning about the dark and the light and just how that affects her. And even those scenes, which I really loved, about how Luke, when he was training her, said, like, you didn't even hesitate and you went straight to the dark. Like, she didn't even try to resist it. She was like, okay, what is this? Let's see what this is about, versus like just totally staying away from it, which kind of gives me an insight into, I think, honestly, that they're going to go the route of kind of like what Luke did with the New Jedi Order, And in the Legends universe, I mean, Luke went to the dark side to learn the full circle of the Force. I mean, so he did go dark. Luke did go dark side. So I think maybe Rey not fully go to the dark side, but I think they're going to take a lot of concept from Luke's Jedi Order series and kind of implement and program that into like the Rey Jedi Order series. Prince Oberyn, yes, thank you for that. Open World Jedi. Uh-oh. What's up, Open World? Good to see you, sir. I hope you were doing well, my dude. Yes, we just got done finishing watching Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. Some high points, some low points for sure. A lot of information as far as what this movie was particularly about. And also, I actually thought there was quite a bit of funny scenes in this one, though. I mean, there was a lot of, kind of quirky moments and things like that definitely, for me helps. And again, this was another movie in the Star Wars series that I really had to, just like The Force Awakens, I had to watch multiple times to just kind of ingest it and understand it and ultimately believe and feel, okay, this is what happened and what's going to happen next. And then this happened next. So, same thing, same concept. Had to watch it multiple times over and over and over again to just understand the story, understand what they were trying to do, and accept it as, okay, this is the next chapter of what's going on, and then go from there. And next Wednesday, we're going to be doing, yeah, not my favorite. Yeah, it's definitely not a lot of people's favorites, that's for sure. Or the sequel trilogy in general, but this is part of the Skywalker saga. So it is knowledge that must be shared, unfortunately, in some cases. But yeah, like I said, I mean, the sequel trilogy for sure is definitely not everybody's absolute favorites. Believe me, I completely hear everybody when they say, what their true dislikes about it is, and nobody really talks about the good things about it, but that's totally fine. I listen to both sides, totally fine. I'm not oblivious to what could have been or what should have been, but more just I try to focus on like, okay, this is what happened. These are the positive things I liked about it. Don't get me wrong, though. I am not blind to the negative things that have happened either, because I did come from Expanded Universe Legends lore. So, yeah, like I said, took many multiple watches of the sequel trilogy to just kind of get footing into where they went wrapping up the Skywalker saga, for sure. But yeah. Like I said, I mean, my opinion is my opinion. Your opinions are your opinions. Absolutely. They should not be justified by me or you. They are what they are. Please feel free to share, discuss, and never feel like, anyone's in the wrong, or I don't go after people and say, you're wrong, I'm right, or you're right, I'm wrong, whatever. It's like, we are all creatures of the universe with our own brains, I think. And ultimately, you know what? We're going to like the same things. We're going to dislike the same things. And we're going to like and dislike the same things. I mean, that's just how it is. It's just, I've gotten to a point where it's like, and don't get me wrong, again, this comes back to like just understanding new things that are coming out to take time to absorb. And that's just how I learn. It's just like, it takes a while for me to finally just rewatch and absorb to learn, okay, this is what's happened. This is currently what's going on. This is what's leading into whatever, and just go on about my life kind of thing. But again, like I said, that doesn't mean that I'm not blind to the things that could or couldn't have been, because Mark Hamill has definitely been very vocal about what he believes should have happened, and I totally agree with him. I really do. However, he did come back and apologize and say, look, maybe I shouldn't have, kind of been as, like adamant about what I want versus what he had to play. Because he said it himself too, that ultimately, this is the story they wanted to tell. It may not have been the story Mark Hamill wanted to tell, but at the same time, again, we're just hardcore fans of Star Wars in general, or whatever property in general that we just absolutely love. And it shows. It absolutely shows, because we are the most hardcore fans, but at the same time, the worst critics, because nothing will ever pale in comparison to what we imagine should happen, too. But yeah, it's all good, though, either way. Like I said, I mean, at the end of the day, this is the content we have, and this includes like the other shows, animated series, anything else that's coming out, has come out, is going to come out, or is scheduled to come out, too. I mean, not everything's going to be everybody's favorite, but, you know, I mean, my biggest suggestion, I honestly think, and I just say this to myself, is that I go into it with an open mind, open heart for the genre, for the intellectual property, and just try to enjoy the fact that they're giving us more content. Now, you know, but at the same time, we are going to be our own worst critics, and nitpick and just tear apart everything in general. So, you know, it is what it is. I mean, there's no way getting around it regardless. So it's okay. User Random Alphabet says sequel trilogy is your favorite. Well, good. I'm glad it is. I mean, like I said, it took me a while. Just same thing like with the prequel trilogy. I mean, it took me many watches to understand the story. Same thing with the original trilogy, and same thing with the sequel trilogy, to just understand and be like, look, this is the story they're telling. This is how it goes. Even the whole midichlorian thing came out of nowhere, and everybody just went up in arms and was just like, you know, there was a whole thing about midichlorians and what that was all about, and, you know, explaining the Force from a parasitic level. It's like, you know, like to me, it looked like fans, you know, from what I understand, like took it as like, you know, trying to explain a magical thing in a scientific way, and it's like it just completely ruined it for everything. But now the prequels are being praised, and I'm glad they are getting recognition. Maybe not at the time they came out, but at least now they're finally getting recognition for what they brought. And hopefully at some point in the future, this sequel trilogy will too. It's just obviously not right now, because it's too fresh in everybody's minds, and it's ultimately like, you know, like, this isn't what I expected, so we hate it. But that's okay. It's absolutely okay. So, again, let us see. Okay, so it's going to be time to wrap things up. So again, let me do a couple of things. Do this. Do this. But yes, we will say again, anybody new and returning to the stream, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, you awesomely beautiful people of the galaxy, and welcome again to another episode of the Darth Asylum podcast. I am your host of Darth Asylum, broadcasting live from hyperspace. This was episode number 8 of the podcast, and because it was episode number 8, we watched Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. So yes, we fully watched it. So officially, the first 8 episodes so far has been episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Next Wednesday night, we will be watching the concluding movie of the Skywalker saga, Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Stream days are Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, usually trying to start somewhere around 12 midnight Pacific West Coast. I did not meet that time tonight. It was actually more like 1 a.m. my time, but however, we still managed to do it, still managed to knock out the podcast and hang out, still watch and knock out another movie in the series, which either way worked out for me perfectly. Wednesday night is the podcast. So like I said, we just got done tonight, my Wednesday, watching episode 8 for episode 8. So next Wednesday will be episode 9 for episode 9, and that will be The Rise of Skywalker. Start to finish, no breaks. We will be finishing that off, and then after doing the Skywalker saga, we will be doing Solo, A Star Wars Story the following week, and then the following week after that, we're going to be starting Andor seasons 1 and 2, and then finally finishing off with Rogue One. So that way we can get the Andor series completed. I have watched Andor season 1, I started watching season 2, but never got to finish it. So we'll ultimately be able to rewatch season 1, finish season 2, and we'll be able to conclude with Rogue One, the last Star Wars movie currently out right now, which is totally freaking awesome. Wooly is with us too. I feel like Star Wars was better if it was left as a cliffhanger. Yeah, I mean, movies tend to do that for sure. Absolutely. I mean, open-ended to me, agreed, is seems like always the best because and honestly to some extent I almost feel like and that's one of the best things I loved about Star Wars storytelling in general is that for the most part, everything is not ever really final. Like there's always some new villain or a Sith is going to exist, or even the Force has to be balanced. And even just from not a Force point of view, the galaxy is still going to go on. There's still going to be a government in power. There's still going to be crime syndicates and everything like that. So just because there's a fight between the light and the dark doesn't mean that ultimately the galaxy stops. It still keeps going. So, I mean, nothing ever fully stops. And that's what I always loved about the Star Wars stories is that when you talk about open-ended, that's how I always felt, was that nothing was ever truly final. Even if a character actually like died, I mean, there was still some kind of either backstory or story we didn't hear or know or whatever. I mean, look at all the stuff they're coming out with Maul Shadowlord. Is just freaking a perfect example of why, even though a character has a start that we've seen so far and an ending that we've seen so far, like either way, they like meet in the middle somehow and just create more and more story for these characters that, we may have known have died like during a certain period of time or something, but there's still more story that can be told. And that's always really cool. And even like I said, I think that's what I was going to look up, was the prequel to Andor. Thought the Rogue One is set 5 years. So Andor was the prequel to Rogue One, but yeah, I remember seeing somewhere that there was going to be even something prequel to Andor. I'm not sure, but I remember just hearing some rumor mill about that, something about something. But either way, oh yeah, we can officially stop this now. We're done. We're officially done with the movie, and that probably would have been enough to get through the credits, to be honest. But yes, we are officially done. We are officially done. No more clocks. Um, but yes, so ultimately, still a lot of great content to be had, still a lot of great content to watch, which is going to be exciting. Again, like I said, stream days are Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Trying to start around Wednesday. Usually trying to start around midnight my time. That's Pacific West Coast time. Wednesday night is the podcast. Thursday night is the Let's Play. Currently, right now, we are doing our first playthrough run-through of Dark Souls Remastered. Having a great time playing that game. Friday nights is typically Battlefield 6. However, we are actually going to be strategically dual streaming with Sandy Fett and playing some Sea of Thieves, which will be totally awesome. Saturday night, we're going to be playing some Star Wars Battlefront 2. And then Sunday night is some Dead by Daylight fun in the fog. So yes, that is currently the schedule for this week. So again, thank you guys for being the awesome legends that you all are. It is always an honor and privilege for me to hang out with all of you. Please remember that. Again, thank you guys for sticking around. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for all your support for the podcast, for the stream, for the channel. Overall, you guys are the awesome legends and the goats. And let us see. We have the goat emote for everybody. Goats, goats, goats. Goats for all of you. Goats for all of you. Not me. All of you. But yes, definitely a fun night. Definitely a fun night as always. Streaming is always fun. It's great to be able to hang out with all of you guys, share our same interests, vent a little bit, and have some relaxation time and be able to just unwind, hang out, have a good safe space environment, and just chill, essentially. So thank you guys again. And let's see. We are basically done. What do we Yep, I think that pretty much wraps everything up in a nice little something. Again, thank you guys for your support. I will be back later tonight, my Thursday, potentially your Thursday / Friday, or Friday if you live in the future. I don't know, but that's why I always say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night to everybody, because I have no clue what time it is for you. However, it's time for this Mandalorian Jedi to get some rest and some sleep for some point, so that way we can finish our week strong. So again, I hope you guys are having a great and safe week in your parts of the galaxy. We are finally into Thursday, so let's do what we got to do to finish up our Thursdays and Fridays and enjoy a brand new weekend in all of our parts of the galaxy. We are already in March. It is, I think, almost, actually, I don't want to say it, but I think it's like almost halfway through, which, yeah, it's almost generally halfway through March already of the new year. So yes, we're essentially 3.5 months into the new year already. So basically 1/4 full, which done, which is insane too to think. So again, this year has been run and gun. It has been full of surprises, but it is always an adventure. So please remember to, let's take care of each other, do what we have to do as always, but try to stay positive, try to be, like I always say, the galaxy needs more heroes than villains, please. So let's do our best to help each other out, support each other, and just, love each other as well. So again, thank you guys for your support. Thank you guys for being the awesome legends that you always are. We will catch you guys next time. So until then, be good, be safe, love you, and talk to you later.
And here we go.
This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way.